you doing? Yeah, because I don't even know if the chief is here. Yeah, we gotta get chief. And then maybe it's not even okay. I feel like it's really tall. Hey, Adam, can somebody get my brother? Oh, Shauna's got him. All right. OCO. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. We're going to, wow, you all got real quiet really fast. So we're going to get started in about 5 minutes. Thank you so much for taking your seats. We have more people coming in, and then we will be starting shortly. We probably should have had some music playing for you up here. Mary Kay? I'm kidding. I'm not going to call on you to sing right now. But I scared you, huh? All righty. Perfect. Does that sound good? Okay. Okay. I'm going to have you take these. Okay. 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 Yeah. I was just going to drink my coffee. Does this look tacky if I set it there? I mean, does this look tacky if I set it here? All right. Leave off that table for me. Hey, Logan. All righty. All righty, well, we are about to start the program. So if we can go ahead and take our seats, everyone. All right. Well, thank you so much. OCO friends and family and fellow Cherokees, I am Kim Teehee, Cherokee Nation Delegate to Congress, and I also serve as Senior Vice President of Government Relations for Cherokee Nation businesses. Welcome to this special occasion dedicated to celebrating the extraordinary life and achievements of Chief Wilma Mankiller. I am honored to be your MC for this morning's celebration. Today, we are celebrating the addition of Chief Mankiller to the Barbie Inspiring Women Series collection, recognizing her impactful legacy. Chief Mankiller embodied qualities of strength, resilience, and trailblazing leadership to align with Barbie's mission to inspire and empower. She joins other notable women through history with their own Barbie, including Rosa Parks, Amelia Earhart, Billie Jean King, Susan B. Anthony, and Maya Angelou, among others. Today, December 5th, is an especially significant date. It was on this date in 1985 that she was sworn into office as Principal Chief of the Cherokee Nation, the first woman to lead a major tribe in the United States. We know Chief Mankiller's impact on Cherokee women and the Cherokee Nation goes beyond her time in office, and I am grateful for the example set by Wilma Mankiller and so proud to have been mentored by her. I got to know Wilma through my parents and extended family as a young person, and then had a formative internship within her office while I was in college. It was Chief Mankiller who inspired me to pursue a career in public service. I always appreciated her advice and guidance and the opportunity to witness her lead our people. Her wisdom and resilience always shone through, but so did her humanity and her good heart. Through her leadership, advocacy, and commitment to community development, she laid a foundation for future generations of Cherokees to thrive and to contribute to the well-being of the Cherokee Nation. Her legacy continues to inspire and shape the aspirations of Cherokees, especially Cherokee women, to this day. We come together not only to remember Chief Mankiller's remarkable journey, but also to celebrate the fact that her impact continues to resonate. The Wilma Mankiller Barbie serves as a symbol of empowerment, reminding us all of Chief Mankiller's trailblazing spirit. To begin our program, I'd like to call upon her dear friend, Richard Duke Pickup, to lead us in a word of prayer this morning. Duke is the pastor of Sycamore Springs Baptist Church.
I'm going to ask you to stand, please. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Skion ethanagi. Allegis tagabayuhai. Ijalili chisi kohigo. He uskad aleli helis tegesa was a darfanisi. Skid lost esta. The God had on Tesca, can I guess on Gusta. Skia, got to yours. Our divine Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege and the honor for us to be here today to celebrate the life and the legacy of a great, great woman. Lord, as a chief of our Cherokee people, to lead by example, and Father, by life, we thank you for her. Thank you for her being, Lord, an example to every young girl, to every person, to all of our people. May you, in the future, raise up more leaders as such as we have to this present time. Thank you, Lord. We ask your blessing upon this whole meeting. Let no one leave here without a doubt in our hearts that we have been blessed from on high, because, Lord, all powers are ordained of God. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay.
Wado, Pastor Pickup. Next, I'm going to introduce several dignitaries that are in the room. So when I call your name, please stand. If we could please hold the applause until the end. Thank you. First, I want to start with a person I get to see every day, the person who I am blessed to call my friend, the great leader of the Cherokee Nation, Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. I'd like to also introduce first daughter, Jasmine Hoskin. Our Deputy Principal Chief, Brian Warner. The former Principal Chief and current Executive Chairman of Cherokee Nation Businesses, Bill John Baker. The former Deputy Principal Chief, former Principal Chief, and Cherokee Nation Secretary of Veterans Affairs, S. Joe Crittenden. Cherokee Nation Chief of Staff, Corey Bunch. Cherokee Nation Secretary of Natural Resources, Christine Justice. Cherokee Nation Deputy Secretary of State, Kanan Duncan. Cherokee Nation Deputy Secretary of State, Tara Lee Montgomery. Chief Economist and Special Envoy to the United States Department of Treasury, Traylana Scott. Next, we have tribal counselors. We'll start with Speaker of the Tribal Council, Mike Shambaugh, representing District 9. Next, we have Sasha Black Fox Qualls, representing District 1. We have Condessa Teehee, representing District 2. Lisa Hall, representing District 3. E.O. Junior Smith, District 5. Joshua Sam, District 7. Melvina Shotpouch, District 10. Joe Deere, District 13. Joining us from our Cherokee Nation Supreme Court is Justice Shauna Baker. We have Cherokee royalty here as well. Miss Cherokee Keely Sanders. Junior Miss Cherokee Addison Rouse. Little Cherokee ambassadors Sky Rodwell and Camille Teehee and Grace Thomas. Cherokee Nation Businesses Board of Directors Jerry Holderby. Julietta Rockela. Tommy Sue Wright. Alrighty. We also have another counselor with us, Cody Poindexter, District 8. All right. I also want to welcome Mayor Suzanne Myers from the City of Tahlequah. I'd also, if you would bear with me, I'd like to acknowledge the Mankiller family who are here as well. A big hand of applause for them, please. Also, if we have any veterans in the room, either stand or raise your hand so we can acknowledge you too, please. All right, thank you. Now it is my pleasure to call upon Deputy Principal Chief Brian Warner to provide welcoming remarks. Deputy Chief Warner has been a strong advocate for cultural and language preservation, workforce training, and personal and family wellness. He is a former educator and has helped secure more educational opportunities for Cherokees across the country, including higher education scholarships, public school support, STEM access, and early childhood development. Please welcome Deputy Chief Brian Warner.
Well, CO, everyone, it is truly an honor to stand here before you today, and let's have a round of applause for Wilma Mankiller, Chief Mankiller, can we? I mean, what a special day for me, and I am. If you're running the teleprompter, I'm going off script, guys. So just bear with me here. But it's something that I've come accustomed to doing. But I want to tell you a story. Many of you've heard me talk about before how special the Strawberry Festival was to me. But my ultimate strawberry queen will always be Chief Wilma Mankiller. She sat in this office that I hold today as the deputy chief under Principal Chief Ross Swimmer at the time, and we understand that when she come into her role as a principal chief that everything wasn't easy, but yet she stood boldly as she did those days when the rain was coming down and I'm standing under the awning of the funeral home waiting and patiently waiting for my chief to come by. Not long ago, I got to take some time, and we should always do this more often, and this is in a sense of what Wilma stood for. I had some folks that were having a tough time out in some little small Cherokee communities, and they needed to talk to their deputy chief. And I took that day, and I drifted, and I went through the hills, and I was up around Nycut, and I ended up coming through Rock Fence Road, and I made my way to Greasy and a few other places along the way. And I come back and I can remember telling my wife, she said, "What'd you do today?" I said, "Today I was a deputy chief." I said, because I got to go out and visit with the people. And many people have told me the story of Wilma. They said Wilma was the chief of the people. She always went to visit her folks. And that day I felt just tethered a little bit closer to somebody that we all admire, somebody that helped us, that stood in the wake for so many things, not just for our beloved Cherokee women, but for all of our Cherokee people. She showed us a new way to do things. She showed us how to connect with one another and to make that long-lasting, enduring connection of what the Creator created each and every one of us to do, which was to give that grace, to give that mercy, and to be loving. To be loving. And it's a testament today to the amount of love that Wilma Mankiller had, because as we look out across this audience, so to the family, Chief Hoskin, Tribal Council, I want to say it's been an honor and a privilege to stand here today and to dote on somebody that we all loved so much, and that was our Chief Wilma Mankiller. Thanks be to God, folks. Well done.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. I also want to mention special thanks to people who behind the scenes made sure that we had this wonderful event. Travis Owens, Vice President of Cultural Tourism for Cherokee Nation Businesses, would you please come forward and raise your hand, sir? There you go. So Travis led this project, and with very little time to do so. And as you can see, it is wonderful, down to the Barbie box. And Felicia, thank you for letting us borrow Wilma's actual suit and such. And then Cherokee Nation Businesses, facilities people, Colin, your team, and Cherokee Nation's team, April, and your team, thank you so much for all this. I want to give credit where credit is due. We all know Wilma always acknowledge people who work behind the scenes in order to make things run so smoothly. Again, thank you, Deputy Chief, for those wonderful, inspirational words. The next part of our program is a special musical performance from Brianna Morton. Brianna is a talented vocalist. She is Wilma's granddaughter and the daughter of Felicia Olaya. In the summer of 2022, she also sang with the Cherokee Adult Choir and Cherokee National Youth Choir here at the Chota Center when we dedicated and debuted the Wilma Mankiller Quarter developed by the U.S. Mint. Today, she will bless us with a performance of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, which is one of Wilma's favorite songs. Please welcome Brianna Morton.
I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. I saw a band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. Tell all my friends that I'm coming too, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I'm sometimes up and I'm sometimes down, coming for to carry me home. But I know my soul is heavenly bound, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Wado, Brianna, that was a beautiful, beautiful and very touching song, and thank you so much. I just am in awe of your voice. What an appropriate way to celebrate your grandmother. Now we will showcase a video created by our communications department. Our social media team collaborated with Mattel Company to create a video of young ladies from elementary school to young professionals who are still impacted and influenced by Chief Mankiller. We hope you enjoy hearing and seeing these young ladies speak in their own voice about the powerful legacy and the excitement of seeing the Barbie doll. Enjoy.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
CO Barbie.
I'm a member of the 2023-2024 Tribal Youth Council.
And I'm from Park Hill, Oklahoma.
From Stillwell, Oklahoma.
From Bixby, Oklahoma.
And I'm a proud citizen of the Cherokee Nation.
As a champion for women, girls, and Native Americans, Wilma became the first female chief of the Cherokee Nation.
She would help and use whatever knowledge she gained from that experience and use it to help others.
She was simply a doer. She was not afraid of hard work or adversity.
She put our people first.
And has empowered Indigenous women like myself to pursue leadership roles.
She broke barriers and society norms to serve and lead our people. She paved the way for Cherokee women, and I am thankful for that foundation.
It shows young Native American girls that they can be whatever they want to be.
Wilma Mankiller has inspired my ambition to pursue a career in law and contribute to defending our tribal sovereignty for generations to come.
Wilma Mankiller was an advocate for all and has inspired me to come back and help my people as a nurse practitioner.
She helped a lot of Cherokees, and that's something I want to do when I grow up.
I want to help with my own community by becoming a social worker.
I want to be the first Cherokee woman astronaut, just like Wilma Mankiller was the first Cherokee woman chief.
You can be anything.
You can be anything.
You can be anything.
You can be anything.
Wado, and I know several of those young ladies are in this room, so Wado, thank you so much. It is so inspiring to see a new generation of Cherokee youth celebrate Wilma for her commitment to building up local Cherokee communities, making families more secure by developing access to safe water, and laying the foundation for Cherokee Nation's modern-day success. As most of you are aware, she did all of this as a woman in a highly visible leadership role when that was not the norm of the era. Next up on our agenda is a poem that Chief Mankiller composed. As many of you know, she was a gifted speaker, but she was also a gifted writer and compiled several books over the years. One of them is a collection of poems. Today, we will be blessed to hear Burley Williamson and Verna Williamson read one of her moving compositions. Burley is the niece of Wilma Mankiller. She is the daughter of Frances, who is Wilma's oldest sister. In 1998, when Wilma went into kidney failure for the second time, Burley graciously donated a kidney that enabled her the opportunity to continue her life's work until her passing in 2010. Verna is also a niece and a longtime and respected employee of Cherokee Nation businesses. She said her Aunt Wilma taught them to work to help each other, to work together, and at the end of each day, simply say to yourself, today was a good day. Ladies.
Mine is called Comfort. Let me take off my glasses. Sorry, can't see. Locked in the safety of comfort, unmoved by the sounds of life, the thoughts of my untamed soul used to drift so I could hear the sunshine speak as Lady Dawn gave way to the sweet melodies of the morning song. And I did once, long ago, drink the ancient nectar of an autumn moon. Used to live down by the river, lie on the rich red clay banks, watching the sleepy sun dance, and just listen to the loud whispers of the moods that could still move me. But now it's just cups of coffee, wicked dreams, and an occasional glance at what used to be. I'm still locked in the safety of comfort, unmoved by the sounds of life.
Just in case you were wondering, me and Verley are not twins. We're sisters, just in case.
We were going to hold hands.
I just wanted to say before I read my poem that I really, really am so thankful to God and that He placed me into this family, because I really, really love this family. We have been through so many different changes, and all our aunts and uncles, they've all passed away. And I just wanted to recognize that, you know, we all find Wilma the most inspiring woman, and I just can't even say enough about it. Everybody I know has a Wilma story. The other thing is Gina. Gina was so special to me. She was my cousin, but she was such a great friend, and she just had so many great adventures with us all through our lives. And the last thing I wanted to say about it also was our last uncle very recently passed away, and he didn't want anybody to mention him or anything, so I'm making him mad right now because I just wanted everybody to remember him, because he gave Wilma the first kidney, and he was the last of our aunts and uncles, and he was very, very special, and he really didn't want to be recognized either. Just like Wilma would probably hate this, but we love it. So, the other thing I was going to say was I wanted to tell a short story about when I first started working up at Grove. I have an employee. Like I said, everybody's got a Wilma story. I worked with him probably, I don't know how long before he found out that Wilma was my aunt, because we just don't go around, hey, hi, I'm Wilma's aunt. Wilma's my aunt, you know. So it was a while, and he said, he told me a really great story about her, what I thought was a great story. He said that his mom, Leela, she asked him one day, will you take me to Tahlequah? So he was like, okay, you know, and he loads her up, and they come to Tahlequah. He's like, where do you want to go, Mom? She's like, I need to go to the complex. So he pulls up there, and they go in, and she goes straight to the office of the, chief. And he was kind of like, Mom, I don't think she's got time to talk to you. She's a very, very busy woman and stuff. And she was like, no, she'll talk to me. So they went in and gave the name and everything. And sure enough, Wilma went ahead and told him, come on in. And, they just talked and visited. And the thing that I thought from that whole thing, he said it really made him really inspired. And he knew that she took the time out to talk to her. But what I thought was really important was that she really recognizes that it's important to listen to our elders, to take time, to slow down life, and really listen to people. I think that was one of the things that why people loved her so much. But as well as Gina, But so I'm going to read this poem. It is called Reality Again. When the land darkens, I close my eyes and dream of a world of my own making. Visions of druids, stars, the fire, trees that whisper ancient secrets. I dream into existence a universe without hatred, where no one betrays me. In sun's warm light, I care about Cuba, South Africa, Jemez Pueblo, Navajo, Bosnia, and Oklahoma. Some would say not womanly things to care about. In sleep, I refresh myself and dream of a time when thunder spoke to me. The moon smiled on me and told me I was one of them. Or maybe I will just listen to the messages from long ago sent along pathways of the wind. The wind will always have stories to tell, and when I wake up, I won't really know whether I dreamed the stories or they are real. But then, I never could tell the difference anyway. Thank you.
What-o, Burley and Verna. Next up are some very special guests. The people who knew Wilma the best, the family members who were closer to her than anybody. They will each provide some thoughts and reflections on her legacy. First is Felicia Olea. Felicia is Wilma's daughter. I also want to acknowledge Wilma's other daughter, Gina, who sadly passed in 2022. Elements of Gina's influence can be seen in this room today. While working for Cherokee Nation businesses, she was the one who insisted on the syllabary to be prominently showcased in the reception hall. as you see all around this room. Note that there are two examples. The larger font shows Sequoia's original handwriting. The smaller highlights the Cherokee's innovation as they move to a typeset font. Like Gina, Felicia also served the Cherokee people. Her sense of service and compassion for the people is something she inherited from her mother. Please welcome Felicia Olaya.
Thank you, Kim, for that great introduction and honoring my sister. Sorry, I'm a little emotional. First, I want to start off by introducing my family. I'd like to introduce my children. Aaron, would you please stand? Jaron and Brianna, my nephew Kellen, my daughter from another mother, Erin Michelle, and my Aunt Vina. She is the widow of my late Uncle Don that just recently passed. If you're a Mankiller, would you please stand up? And please give a round. Also, I would like to add to Kim's story about the syllabary. This is not only one of Gina's great compassion for art and history. Throughout the Cherokee Reservation, there are several Cherokee entities that hold her compassion for history and her compassion for art. When you go into the Cherokee Nation outpatient clinic, if you look around and you see all the displays of artwork throughout that facility, that is Gina's work. I feel her with us today, as well as my mother. Most people talk often about the political side of my mother, and today I would like to share some personal notes about my mom. She was very humorous. Back in the 70s, when her and my father divorced, she was looking for ways to keep Gina and I cheerful. Not sad, because now we have an absent father. So she thought it was very humorous to smash her face with pantyhose and hide behind a door and scare the crap out of us. We didn't think it was too funny. Later in life, we did laugh about these times, but who would have thought that a person that smashed her face with pantyhose would one day receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom? I have another interesting story that I'm sure some of you may have heard. When she was inaugurated principal chief, one of her first duties was to attend the 5 Civilized Tribes Museum meeting. Not museum, 5 Tribes meeting. She walks into the room, and at the head of the table there sits 4 men representing the other 4 tribes. There was no chair for my mother to sit. So she gets up and she goes, finds a chair, sits at the head of the table. They conduct the meeting. They talk about all their business with their tribe, and they're getting ready to close the meeting. And she stands up and says, I am Wilma Mankiller. I'm the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, and I have a report to share also. Mind you, from that day forth, there was always a chair at the head of the table for her. You know, in honoring my mom, you can't help but think of our ancestors. She is an ancestor today. And when I think of our ancestors, I think of the adversity they faced walking the Trail of Tears. But Mom always taught us to look at the good side of things. So with those thoughts, I think about these little Cherokee children playing with their grass dolls. And today, we have Cherokee children playing with the Wilma Mankiller Barbie. have warm thoughts at our next family gathering, which is Christmas, of my granddaughters, my nieces, many family members sitting on the floor, playing with the Wilma Mankiller Barbie, thinking that one day, I hope that they become a leader or a principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. I'm going to leave you with a quote from my mom. It is engraved on her headstone today. It is a quote that I chose with the help of, I think his name is something Mink, from Cherokee Nation. He helped me design Mom's headstone. But it reads, Sam? Dan Mink, yes. Many years ago when she passed in 2010. And it reads, I want to be remembered as the person that helped us restore faith within ourselves. That, I believe she did. I want to leave you with this. Always remember that every day is a good day. Wano.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those beautiful and inspiring words, Felicia. One of the last conversations I had with Gina, she had already lost her eyesight. Pretty much, she could only see peripheral. And she said that Mom always said, end each day on a positive note and be grateful, right? And she said she is grateful that she was able to complete the outpatient facility, so many of these facilities, the care that she went to make sure that our artists continue to be employed and that it is their work that adorn our buildings is phenomenal. And in true to Mankiller fashion, she cared about all these details too. So thank you. Now we'll have Kellen Quinton. Kellen is Wilma's grandson and his mother is Gina Olaya. Kellen.
It's such a beautiful day today, isn't it, guys? It's such a deep and profound honor to be up here standing in front of you, talking about all of the accolades and all of the wonderful things my grandmother did. It's not been so long since we were in this same building, giving credence to her being on the U.S. quarter, and the amount of different values that she placed in different areas in the world, and the amount of things that are still gracing upon us, even though she has been gone for so long. It is truly inspiring to see and truly blessing for everyone here to know that the world is finally listening to an utmost T. Now that we have the United States government itself finally gave her recognition of a level further than we could ever imagine, even though she did get the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And when she got that, we didn't think it was possible for her to get any honor higher than that. And it seems though, as we move forward with our lives and with the lives of everyone who is still here, that her message and her influence is just as powerful and strong as it is today as it was back then. And you can look around yourself and look at all of the beautiful women and all of the beautiful Cherokee people in here and all of the beautiful people in here and see that she influenced each and every one of those people. And for all of us to sit up here today and to see that a company could see a vision within her of all little girls, of all Cherokee people, of all indigenous people in general, it is just such a profound blessing. And we must all remember that the legacy of Wilma Mankiller is not just the family, it's not just the people that have seen her, it is the people that she touched. It is the people who continuously take her legacy, her words, her actions, and her feelings and project them into the future, and that give everyone a chance to be whatever it is they want to be. She came from so little. As Felicia brought up earlier, our Uncle Don had to, at a very, very young age, take over being the provider for the entire family. And he did so without a single thought. And our entire family is riddled with people that have that same gumption, that same determination, and that same need for change and to help all of the other people around. And I think it's extremely important for us all to look at a symbol like this and realize there is still so much more we can do. There is still so much Wilma Mankiller in each and every one of us, and we need to strive every single day to show as much of her as we possibly can, because there may be no such thing as a perfect human, but that woman was as close to perfection as any of us could ever dream to be. She truly put herself in front of everyone, and she cared very little about herself in any way, shape, or form. And we all truly need more and more of that today. Greed and other elements seem to have taken over parts. Money seems to be the driving force of everything. And she cared not about being famous. She cared not about any other element than influencing and making the life of the person next to her and the person around her much better. And we all need much, much more of that today. Gloria Steinem famously quoted as saying, "In a just world, Wilma Mankiller would have been president." And I truly believe that if people listened even a fraction of the amount as they're starting to back then she 100% would have. Because I am blessed to be her grandson, but all of us were blessed to be Cherokee people in order to be behind a leader of that magnitude. Because I don't know throughout history if I can pinpoint somebody without talking about the greatest people to walk the face of the earth and not have Wilma Mankiller's name in that. We all miss her dearly, but I feel that we miss her leadership even further. We miss the status, the symbol, and the foot that she always put forward, no matter what it was. Not many of you know, some of you recall about how sick she was. Not many know how sick she was. And how many days was it that that woman should have never got out of bed, that she should have almost rolled over and gave up because the situation was truly that dire. And that woman reached for her document book. She reached for the laptop, she reached for the phone, and she continuously worked and gave her body, mind, and soul to the people, because that's who she was, and that's truly who she believed we should all be. And I truly think that this symbol here proves that everyone is finally looking towards that, and we have yet another symbol that we can all get behind in the glory of Wilma Mankiller. Once, like everyone said, every day is a good day, and I truly attempt to live by that quote. But on days like today, let's all have an extra smile for her, and let's all truly remember the different times that she influenced individually. Because I guarantee you, like Felicia said, the woman gave every moment that she could to the people, and every chance she got, she would much rather take away from herself and give to anyone else, and we need much, much more of that today. I truly appreciate your time, guys, and thank you for the profound blessing, and thank you for everybody being here, and thank you, Mattel, for showing us and seeing that her vision and the vision of Native women and Cherokee people in general is something that is special and is something that needs to be shared with everyone else. What up?
Wado, Kellen. Thank you so much. I am now honored to bring to the stage Mr. Charlie Soap. He was Wilma's partner and husband and friend. From Stillwell, he is a Cherokee speaker who served under 3 chiefs. He was a community service group leader for the Cherokee Nation, overseeing a $100 million budget dedicated to public transit, roads, bridge and infrastructure projects, environmental health services, housing assistance, youth programs, and natural disaster relief. He is a U.S. Navy veteran and was the producer of the major motion picture, Cherokee Word for Water, which told the story of Charlie and Wilma's work to get the Bell community in Adair County a water line for clean water. In 2021, Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. enacted the Wilma P. Mankiller and Charlie Soap Water Act to ensure that everyone on the Cherokee Nation Reservation will be free of any barriers to accessing clean and safe water. It is a fitting tribute to their vision. Please welcome Charlie Soap.
Good morning, everybody. I'm glad everybody could be here. And but first, I want to thank the Lord for providing us a beautiful day for a celebration for one of the greatest leaders of our time, Wilma Mankiller. First, I'd like to take a couple of minutes to introduce Frida Van. Where are you, Frida? I know you're in the audience somewhere. Frida Van, Anita Cochran. Of course, Anita Cochran here. Frida, I want to say thank you for traveling with Wilma and I on many miles through our trips during her time in office. As you know, Wilma was battling kidney failure at times in her office. And Frida was in charge of making sure that the peritoneal dialysis, a portable dialysis machine, was in place when we got where we were going, and also that the medicine was ready. And I thank you, Frida, for taking the time, being there for Wilma in time of in need for her health. Also, Anita Cochran, wherever you are, you might be in Bell, you might be in Stillwell, wherever you are, we want to thank you for being Wilma's first-class assistant to her office. And we want to thank you for that. And I think that Wilma was an extraordinary person. And I try to think of words to say in English, how you can put that one word together to say that she was an extraordinary person, loved everybody, cared about everybody, all. I couldn't think of one word, but in her language, Cherokee language, usquaniktiake, usquaniktin. That means it's extraordinary, or many words. It has many meanings, but that's the only word I could think of that would describe. She's all of what we would look for in a person that's a good leader. And we've had good leaders in the past for our tribe, and I think the leadership that's there for our people now, it's at a time now when it's very important in our country that we have good leaders. So I know Chief, former Chiefs, Council, y'all doing a good job. Just take care of us. Watch out for us, because we need it. So also that I think we would think it's kind of funny that people would be taking the time to comment on her likeness to the Barbie doll, because Wilma didn't want to be compared with other people or to judge her by her accessories to the doll. So I'm not saying that in a negative way, but it's just Wilma would be kind of laughing about that. So anyway, I thought it was something that she would be appreciative of. She's been gone for a while now, and she's still inspiring us to know more about her written language. Chalege ha ya chawani ai kan ha sana yo lai want ai ke chi go le chalege ha de ya ba do la ba te squash de no chick a do le ha a te squash de chalege na ai go le de. I hope that I can learn how to read the Cherokee language. But anyways, she trusted me in making decisions. I cared for her and her family for 25 years. Never imagined that it would involve a Barbie doll. I don't do dolls. I still believe she would be okay about the decisions we made about this project. I think she would be probably make a couple of comments about it, but I think she would be pleased. It's not me who will have the final say of the doll. It's the Cherokee children and the children around the world, whether or not they value the doll and what it represents. At this point, with all the hoopla that's going around, I just hope that they get one. They did sell out, as you know, within 24 hours when it was put out for to be sold. The happiness and the well-being of the children is what Wilma and I focused on when she was around. And I want to say thank you to Mattel team for making the Wilma Mankiller Barbie doll. Also, at this time, I would ask the Mankiller family, would you please stand? Would you please keep standing, please? And also, if there's anybody from the Soap family, would you please stand? I don't see anybody standing up. No, just kidding. All my relatives, thank you for coming. Well, don't. Geez, that don't. Keep standing up, please. And anyone that was associated with Wilma during her time in office, or any people that had worked with her in the community, would you please stand? Chief, Deputy Chief, Council, members of the community, would you please stand? The media's there. We thank you for coming covering this wonderful event. Also, anyone that knew Wilma, that Wilma helped a lot of people, that touched their lives, would you please stand? Okay. You look around, see who's all standing up. And this is who made Wilma's legacy what it is. Everybody here had a part of Wilma's legacy, part of her life. That's who made Wilma. And she always commented saying, it's not me that did what I did. It was the people that made me who I am. Without their support, I couldn't have done what I did. So thank you for being here. Well done. You can be seated now. A few years back, when I was at Rocky Mountain, I was in front of the pole barn. You know, we had to move. I had to move after Wilma left because the mold took over the house. That mold is a bad thing. It'll kill you, believe me. I always thought I could tough it out, but I didn't stand a chance. But when I was standing there, I could see Wilma come over here. Wilma stood there. She always, a lot of times, wore a long black dress and white blouse. And I didn't want to look because I knew she would fade away. So I just kept looking straight ahead. And I could see her laughing. And I'm standing there thinking, it's not funny, you know, because I feel like I'm a failure because the mold took over the place. But there's nothing I could do about what was going on. We had ServPro come in, do their cleaning up the house. 2 or 3 years later, he came back. And I've been told that you'll never beat mold. It's impossible. So, and then I stood there, she came a couple of steps forward. And I kept looking straight ahead. And the message she gave me was, Charlie, she was laughing, said, our era is over. Said, our time together, we've done what we could. He said, now you go and live your life, enjoy your life. And said, just, and do what we did and appreciate what we've done together. So, but anyway, I hope as you leave today, you'll take the legacy of Wilma Mankiller with you. And I hope that you can live by her example and be kind, be good to people, and help people in need of help, because that's our purpose in life. And so everything we say and do, we're going to have to answer to our Maker. And I hope we can all pass the test, say that we did what we could. And thank you, Lord, for making this possible for us. Well done.
What Charlie. Thank you. Thank you so much for those words. Now I am proud to introduce Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. to give his reflections on this monumental day. Chief Hoskin recently won re-election to his second term in office this summer. As Principal Chief, he increased minimum wage at Cherokee Nation and Cherokee Nation businesses and secured the largest language investment in the tribe's history to expand Cherokee cultural preservation. He prioritized health and wellness initiatives, including record investments in behavioral health and addiction treatment. He has also prioritized the protection of families and women by expanding our efforts through the One Fire program. As we know, women are so important to the tribe as a matrilineal society and the tribal government. Today, women make over 70% of the tribe's workforce. These efforts by Chief Hoskin is something I know Chief Mankiller would be so proud of and supportive of. Please welcome Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin, Jr.
Although Delegate Teehee, Deputy Chief Warner, members of the council, members of the cabinet, Felicia, and the entire Mankiller family, and Charlie Soap, and all of your family. And Mattel, I want to express to all of you and everyone assembled how proud I am to serve as chief during a time when we get to celebrate the great Wilma Mankiller. I pass out the Wilma Mankiller Quarter a lot at events and share it with particularly little Cherokee girls, and I tell them, if a chief will tell you the truth, they'll say they want to be Wilma Mankiller when they grow up. That's what I'd like to be. She sets the standard. Felicia told a story that is familiar to me, and it's one I share often, sometimes with those same little Cherokee girls, when Wilma Mankiller came into that room and was not welcomed and was treated like maybe some junior high boy treats some girl he's trying to diminish or intimidate. And that's sort of what the impression I got about that room when she walked in as a tribal leader and frankly was disrespected. And that story ought to hang with us as we think about Wilma Mankiller and what she was up against at that time. But Felicia, I didn't hear you mention any names, and I don't know their names. I don't even know if history records their names. But I do know that Wilma Mankiller is on a Barbie doll today. So what does that say? She, throughout her life, demonstrated such grit and determination. She fought for justice for people who needed someone to be a champion for them. That's something special in this world. And she inspired us as Cherokee people to do something more for ourselves. Before she ever held public office, ladies and gentlemen, before she ever put her name on a ballot, she was already changing the world, and already doing so at a time when it's very difficult for someone from her background to do so. She fought for civil rights, a cause for all of humanity. She fought for the dignity of everyone. At such a young age, she made that part of her mission in her young life. She fought for indigenous rights, a cause that strikes at the very conscience of the United States. She did that as a young woman. She did all of this before very many people knew her, knew Wilma Mankiller as now a household name, and she did it probably before many people ever imagined she would be chief of the Cherokee Nation. And when she came back home after that part of her young life, a young mother raising her daughters along the way, she reminded us of some of the most powerful tools that we have as Cherokee people, our sense of history, our sense of destiny, and our sense of collective purpose, that we owed something to each other and we could do something for each other. When she inspired that water line in the community of Bell, she did something even bigger than that really important step of empowering the community to install that water line where there was no running water. She tapped into something that was in our national character, that was almost robbed and beaten and stolen from us collectively over the centuries. She knew that those generations of oppression could not rob us of our sense of history, of our sense of destiny, and our sense of collective purpose, and our sense of gadugi, the Cherokee word for working together. She knew that was in us, and she helped us see it. All before she became principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, all while she was a young woman, all before she was 36 years old. And her work as chief of this great nation is without parallel. It is unmatched. The very fact that she became chief, the first woman to hold that post, is itself remarkable. But it seems to me that what she did as chief was simply an extension of what she had already been doing. From a seat of power, she used it for good. She used her power as chief to keep striking at the conscience of the United States for its broken promises and, just as important, its opportunities to make right what it had gotten so wrong by indigenous peoples. She used her seat of power to remind the country that it needed to support and get behind civil rights and dignity for everyone. She chose to do that in the office of principal chief. Under her leadership, we asserted our sovereignty and our ability to self-govern in ways we hadn't done for generations. And once again, she reminded us that that was always in it, that it was handed down to us by our Creator, that we just needed to reach inside and find it and assert it, find our strength as Cherokee people, and lead together, collectively. After she left office, she just kept on making that great impact. I think she must have always been driven by that same sense of duty to her fellow Cherokees, but also her fellow citizens of the world. She is today an icon around the globe for the work that she's done. She inspires so many Cherokees, but she inspires so many people around the world. When she passed away, the world mourned because they knew who she was. And as time goes by and her story goes around the globe, more and more people draw inspiration. And isn't it beautiful and special that they know she was a Cherokee woman, that she was the leader of the great Cherokee Nation? Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Soap did something very powerful a while ago when he asked those of us who had some connection with Wilma Mankiller to stand up. Then I was honored for him to ask me to stand up. I have met Wilma Mankiller one time. You could feel something in her presence. I was a teenager following my father around as he campaigned for office. That was the one time that I met her. So it was generous of Charlie to ask me to stand up. That was the one time I encountered her. But it reminded me of this. Everyone in this room could stand up. Everyone in the Cherokee Nation could stand up. People who were not born until after Wilma Mankiller passed away could stand up. People around the globe who care about civil rights and the dignity for all human beings and justice in this country and doing right by what this country has gotten so wrong, they could stand up. Whether they're Cherokee or not, if they believed in the causes to which Chief Mankiller committed her life as a young woman, as a chief, and after she was chief, they could stand up. And so when we get a chance, we ought to stand up for Wilma Mankiller. Now, Cherokees are very passionate. We have very strong and passionate opinions about this Barbie doll, don't we? That's because we love Wilma Mankiller. We know who Wilma Mankiller was, and we want the world to continue to be inspired by Wilma Mankiller. Thank you all very much. Widow.
Thank you, Chief Hoskin, for those amazing, amazing words. You truly captured Wilma's essence, her spirit, and her leadership. Let's acknowledge him again for his support for this great event, for this great woman. Mentoring young people is something Wilma was universally known for. I'm a recipient of that mentoring. She showed Cherokee girls that they can have a meaningful role in making the world and the local community a better place, and that through determination and hard work, positive change is possible. She urged me to go to law school at that time, and still today, there were so many complex legal issues impacting tribes that she felt it critical that more of our people need to learn the law. And her observations are still true to this day. What she encouraged me to do is a similar journey to what I have encouraged young Cherokee women to undertake. So those lessons continue with the new generation. We'd like to hear from some of the people who helped her on her life's journey. We'll start with Audra Smoke Connor. Audra is a former Miss Cherokee, a founding member of the Cherokee Nation Tribal Youth Council, and former Cherokee Nation District 1 Tribal Council member. She is in her 33rd year of working for the American Indian Resource Center's Educational Talent Search Program. She first met Wilma Mankiller in 1986 while competing in the Miss Cherokee competition and working in part-time positions for the Cherokee Nation. Her reign as Miss Cherokee allowed her and her family an opportunity to establish a friendship with Wilma, as with me too. Please welcome my dear friend, Audra, to the stage.
Wow, that wasn't fair to put me up here after Chief Hoskin. I kind of felt like I'd gone to church, right? Thank you for that. Mary Kay, would you like to go next? Okay, sorry. All right. Thank you for having me. I'm actually very humble to have been asked to be a part of this event today. I'm sure there are people out there that have an even stronger relationship with Wilma Mankiller, but I feel like what she did for me and what she continues to do for the young women of our nation has to be shared. So I may not have been one of the family, but she always made me feel like family. So first of all, let me ask you, let me see a raise of hands. How many of you had Barbies? How many of you had Barbies? Yeah, we all had Barbies. But did you have a native Barbie? No. Did you have a Barbie of color? No, I didn't. I lived in Spavinaw. We didn't have that. I didn't have access to that. And it wasn't until the 67 or so that there was a doll, the first doll of color came about, and her name was Francie, but she wasn't an actual Barbie. She was a friend of Barbie. So she wasn't a real Barbie. Then around 68, there came Christy. And she was built just like Barbie. She was made just like Barbie, but she had the features of a black woman. But she was still not quite a Barbie of color. It wasn't until 1980 that there was a black and Hispanic version of Barbie. These are all things that I researched because I thought I need to know my Barbies before I get up here and talk about them. My Barbie was a quick curl Barbie. Do any of you remember that? Her hair was a little more textured, and she came with this little wand, and you put it in there, and you twisted it, and you pulled it out, and she had a nice, pretty curl. Then you could mess it all up and do it again. And I had Malibu Ken. Will there be a Charlie? Some of you might say, sure, there can be a Charlie. But by that time, I was 12 years old. I was like 7th grade. I wasn't playing with Barbies anymore, so I didn't have one of those. But, you know, at my age today, I will have one of these, and it's on its way. I just wanted to share, I had met Wilma Mankiller and Charlie Soap early, in my early years, as just a community member of Spavinaw. That's where I grew up. And our family was very involved in trying to build our community. And these folks came in and helped us. They helped us, and they said, one of the things that I learned from Wilma along the way was that if you say you're going to do something, you do it. And she did it. She helped us get our community building. She helped us with all of the things that we needed, the infrastructure to build our little community and to make it thrive and to make it grow. My mom just shared a story with me a little bit ago, and I thought, I've got to share this. But, you know, how many of you have been to Spavinaw? Raise your hand. Yeah. You ever been to a Spavinaw parade? Yeah. So, you know, you start down by the old school. It's an old school now because I think it's a dispensary, but yeah, not a school anymore. But you started down there and you went up Main Street, up the hill at the end of the street, turned around and came back. The whole parade. So you got to see it twice. Well, we had asked Wilma to be the grand marshal of our parade one year. And it was getting close to time to start, and she wasn't there. And when she did get there, she said, you know, who would have thought I'd been in a traffic jam in Spavinaw, Oklahoma? Everybody came for the parade. So when I came to college, moved here to college, 86, yeah, I'm going to date myself now. But I ran for Miss Cherokee for the first time. So, yeah, I ran 3 times. In case you all don't remember that little part of history, the 3rd time they said, give it to her. Or she will be back next year. Tracy Rabbit says, yes, give it to her, please. So I came here and I ran for Miss Cherokee, and that's when I really got involved in Cherokee Nation. And I was a full-time college student and a part-time employee through some of the programs here at the tribe. And during that time, I got to know Wilma even better. And like I said, 88, they finally gave it to me. I was Miss Cherokee, and I got to travel with her and do all the cool things. I was so excited that I was, and so honored that I was a Miss Cherokee during her reign as chief, because she taught me a lot. She taught me many things. One of the things that she taught me was that, you know, you continue to do the work, even when people around you take the credit. She said, because people see the work that you do. Even though others may be taking your thunder, people are still seeing it. So continue to do the work. And I've always continued to do the work. And I appreciated that from her because it made me feel like it gave me that validation that I was doing things and it was being noticed, even though I might not have been in the headlines for it. That's okay. I'll have to say also that knowing Wilma Mankiller actually changed the trajectory of our whole family. Because I didn't, my folks, you know, my dad, I don't know if you remember my dad, the late William Smoke, but he was a community person. He wasn't a very outspoken person, but when he had something to say, it was important. And as I had graduated from college and started working for the tribe, that was always going to be my thing. I'm going to be the tribe. I'm going to work for my tribe, and I'm going to be there till I die. Well, Wilma came to my family and asked my dad back in 1990 to run for tribal council to represent Mays County, the Mays district, and he agreed. And because of the nepotism laws that we had at that time, it was, well, if he gets elected, you're going to have to give up your position. Really? Yes, really. But it's okay, because he got elected and he served 2 terms. But he never would have done that if Wilma Mankiller had not asked him to and supported him in his candidacy. We'll bring that around. And around 2003, I decided I wanted to do that job as well. And I had Wilma Mankiller's support to do that. we would not be where we are. We would not have done the things that we've done. Would not have had the experiences and made the contacts that we have had it not been for Wilma Mankiller. The job that I'm in now is because of the people I knew and the relationships I built while at Cherokee Nation, and seeing the things that I saw. My boss now is here. And she's going to share some stories too with her friendship, Miss Pam Irons. But some of the other things that Wilma taught me was that when you say you're going to do something, you do it. You follow through. It may not be in the time that you hoped it would be in, but you'll get it done. Another thing that I learned from her is no matter what your position is, you've got to be real. The people need to know that you are one of them. No matter what your position is, you are with the people. And you treat others that way. She also said that, you don't always like everybody, right? You got to work with people that you don't always really care for. And they have very different opinions. But what I learned from Wilma Mankiller was that you continue to do the work. You set those differences aside, and you come together and do the work for the people. I may not have been one of the really close people in her circle, but she affected me in many, many ways in my family. And so, again, to be included in this event today is a great, great, great honor. And I'm so appreciative to the family. And I'm so appreciative of the fact that we got girls that can play with an indigenous Barbie. We've got that. And people will know. People will see this. I have my, it's over here. Oh, it went in my pocket. I have my Wilma Mankiller quarter, because my mom had them made into necklaces for us and the girls, and we're all wearing them today. So, when you think about people that have had influence in your life, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are the closest person to them. You could be the furthest person from them. But if they can have that kind of impact, like Wilma Mankiller has had on so many of us in this room, that is powerful. That is amazing. Thank you for having me here today. And I just have to add one more thing. We were close enough friends that back when I finally found my one and only, and we were getting ready to get married, I asked Wilma, would you do the honor of being one of my witnesses on my marriage license? And we were close enough that she said, yes, I would love to. So I have that. And I will always have that. And it was a very special request, and so special that she agreed. That was Wilma P. Mankiller. Widow.
Thank you so much, Audra, for those heartfelt words. Now we will hear from our friend, Mary Kay Henderson. Mary Kay is a former Miss Cherokee and one of just 2 women to hold the title for consecutive years. She served as a youth ambassador and now serves as a mentor to current tribal youth. She has been the tribe's Cherokee National Youth Choir Director since 2003. She also has served on the Miss Cherokee Committee for at least the last 15 years. Please welcome Mary Kay Henderson.
Well, good morning. This is a great day. It is a great day. They told me to keep it under an hour, so I thought I better sit. Yeah. Thank you, Felicia. Brianna, thank you. I always love to hear you sing. Brianna was in our youth choir and was always just one of my favorites. And well, you were. You really were. And I still have a great picture I should have put up here of you one night when you put on an excessive amount of makeup. And, but that'll come out another time. Well, I just wanted to tell you two little things. Wilma P. Mankiller was quite an inspiration and a friend to me. We laughed every time we got together. And all of I have two pictures of she and I in my office right now. And she's got her head leaning back, laughing, and I'm trying to keep it together, and the men on each side of us are very stoic. Both were former principal chiefs. I'm not going to say names. I have a funny story to tell you. One night, I was walking through, I had been shopping in Woodland Hills Mall in Tulsa. Charlie, do you remember this? And I was with a friend of mine who is not Cherokee and not Native at all. And we started walking out the Dillards downstairs to get to our car. And it was the men's department. And there wasn't a soul around. And all of a sudden, I heard, Mary Kay. And I thought, am I hearing things? Walked 2 or 3 more steps. I heard kind of a giggle. And then I heard, Mary Kay. I said, Beth, did you hear that? And she goes, I did. I thought you were crazy the first time, but I heard it. Someone's saying your name. But I don't see anybody. Mary Kay. You could hear it again in just this laughter. I turned around. Wilma and Charlie jump up out of a clothes rack. And they're just dying laughing. And my friend, when we got in the car, she hadn't said 2 words. And we got in the car and she said, who was that? And I said, that's Wilma Mankiller. She's the principal chief of our tribe. And she goes, you've got to be kidding me. And so those are the stories I think of with Wilma. That's just my favorite. I could tell many more. I have just agreed with every speaker today. I have found something. Felicia, you took several of the things I was going to say, but I want to tell you about just an incident in the last month. I had ordered 2 Barbies as soon as they came out, waiting on them to come in. And my son, my oldest son, is deployed right now. He's in the Navy, and he has been gone since April. And his little girls, who are 4 and 2, the absolute most precious little Cherokee girls you ever saw. In fact, we've got a slide presentation. No, I'm just kidding, we don't. But anyway, I had bought them for Thea and Evie. They're 2 and 4. And Thea especially is very, very cognizant of being Cherokee. In fact, I think she told the chief the other day when she met him, he said it was a pretty dress she had on or something, and she had on a little tear dress, and she said, he goes, well, what is that dress or something? And she said, well, I wear it because I'm Cherokee. Like, duh. I don't know where she gets that attitude, but she's the one who, they live in Virginia, you all, and she wore it on the first day of pre-K. She wears it all the time. She wore it to the beach. She loves to wear a Cherokee dress. She's comfortable in it, or a ribbon skirt. So anyway, the day came and the box came. While they were here, they came to spend Thanksgiving with us. And the box came, and Thea says, Cece, you have a box. And I said, yeah. And she said, is it for me? I said, it might be. And I thought, it really might be. Wouldn't that be wonderful if they came in while they were here? And so I said, as soon as Evie wakes up from her nap, we'll open the box. So we opened the box. And they tore into those boxes like a pack of wolves. They were pulling, ripping, all this stuff. And in my mind, I kept hearing, you really need to keep that up somewhere nice. You need to keep that up nice somewhere. Because that's how I grew up with my mom. We had things that were put up for nice that we never ever used. I mean, literally never. And all of a sudden, I just relaxed and let them keep ripping. And they got the dolls out, and they were playing, and they were putting them in a tractor and driving them around, and one was brushing her hair. And I was sitting there on the floor with them, playing. And they said, Cece, she looks like you. And I said, well, yeah, the hair's kind of similar. And yeah, I said, you know, this is a doll, but it represents a woman that was Cece's friend. What was her name? I said, Wilma Mankiller. She said, Mankiller? I said, yes. And she said, was she mean? I said, oh no. I said, if she were here today, she would be sitting right here on the floor with us, playing with these dolls and riding it on a tractor and doing all these things. And later I thought, that's the purpose of these dolls, is that we can tell the stories, because probably everybody that's here has a story they could tell. And we introduce Wilma Pearl Mankiller to the next generation, and then the next generation. And we keep her legacy alive. Thanks to Barbie. Isn't that amazing? And I thought that was so neat. And I've heard all the you know, I've been on Facebook listening to all the back and forth. But I just want to say that finally, as a child of the 70s, the Barbies that I had, their feet were just like this because their high heels were so high. I love this Barbie because now I have Barbie shoes too.
Wado, Mary Kay, thank you so much. Very well said, as always, and with great humor. Our final mentee is Wyatt Chuckluck. He is currently working for the Oklahoma Department of Tourism and for the city of Miami, and is pursuing a master's degree at the University of Oklahoma. Wyatt's father, Greg Chuckluck, was a marshal for the Cherokee Nation during Wilma's tenure as principal chief, and often attended events with her. Chief Mankiller knew Wyatt from birth and was a big part of his life. Please welcome to the stage Wyatt.
Good morning. As she said, my name is Wyatt Chuck Luck. You know, growing up, listening to my dad tell stories about Wilma Mankiller, and my great uncle also worked under Mankiller's administration. Chief Justice Ralph F. Keene as well. As she said, my name is Wyatt Chuck Luck. I am very honored to be able to speak to you all today, and thank you, Felicia, for asking me to do so. It is such an honor. When I got the call, when she had asked me, I was at work, sitting at my desk, and I said, I froze. I was like, what do I say? And I said, okay, I will do it. And I looked over to my boss and I said, guess what? I just got asked to speak at this event this next week. They asked me, Wyatt Chuck Luck. And I'm like, Then I'm thinking, okay, well, what do I say? Where do I go? You have the big bubble here, and then all these other little things just coming. Do I start here? Do I start there? Where do I go? And I was in my car just the other night and just thinking about what I was going to say. I'm like, okay, turn my radio down, just talking to myself. And as I was talking, no, that's not how I want to start. No, I don't like that. As I was about 2 miles from my house, I said, I started rambling off. I'm like, oh, shoot, I better get to my house and get on my laptop so I can start typing what I wanted to say. Today is a good day, not only for the Cherokee Nation, but for Indian people across the United States, as we are celebrating a legendary woman, the late Principal Chief Wilma P. Mankiller. Who would have thought I would know someone who has her face on a quarter and now has a Barbie after them? As I am almost 26 years old, I never would have imagined I would be excited about buying a Barbie doll. As one of the ladies mentioned earlier, she asked, who had a Barbie? I did not. Mine were Hot Wheels cars and Bob the Builder action figures. When I was younger, in my short time that I knew Wilma, she told me to always call her Aunt Wilma, and so that I did. And she would say, come on, Wyatt, let's go to McDonald's and get you a Happy Meal. Little did she know I could probably eat more than a 6-piece Happy Meal. As Wilma once said, the secret of our success is that we never give up. As I read that, I think of what she had always told me. Wyatt, you can be anything you want to be, and always set your mind to what you want to do in life. And Wilma was a great mentor for me. She taught me to embrace challenges, view failures as opportunities for learning, and cultivate a positive attitude towards self-improvement. She would tell me to understand the setbacks and obstacles are a normal part of any journey, and to always stand my ground and do what is right while having a positive attitude towards people. I will forever cherish the insights that she had taught me. Wilma was and is one of the greatest role models there are of all time. I admire all that she had done for our great people before, during, and after becoming chief. Her leadership has pushed me to strive to fulfill my true potential. as I am in the first stages of writing my own children's book. And to one day follow in her footsteps and lead our great Cherokee people one day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Wyatt. That was so well said. Our last speaker for the day will be a person who worked closely with the chief during her 10 years leading our people. Ms. Pamela Iron served as the health director and chief of staff for the former late principal chief, Wilma Mankiller. She met Chief Mankiller while she was serving as a planner for the tribe, and Pam was developing the Indian Health Care Resource Center in Tulsa. Their friendship grew because they both had experiences in community development. She previously founded 3 nonprofit organizations and now directs the American Indian Resource Center and Camp 7 Star. Please help me welcome one of Chief Mankiller's closest sister friends, Pam Iron.
What I want to share with you today is not my memories of events that happened, rather than reflections of Chief Mankiller's way of being. Purely from my perspective, as I interacted with her and observed her interactions, how she reacted with the world around her, the way she was a thinker, the way she embraced life. I want to pause here to reflect on 2 other women that experienced life with Wilma. Charlie mentioned them, but I would like to mention them also. Frida Vann, who was a community liaison, and Nita Cochran, her special assistant. 2 strong Cherokee women who Chief Mankiller relied upon to keep her grounded and also to move mountains on a daily basis. She relied on these 2 women to listen to the communities and to give her feedback. These words come to mind when I reflect. She was thoughtful, a forward thinker, collective thinking, debate, governance, and relationships. Thoughtful in the use of her words and choice of words in her expressions. She chose words that would be meaningful and define what she wanted to convey. She used these words as a theme, and she would say them over and over in her expressions until they became a reality. A forward thinker, and yet she saw problems by looking at the end results, what was needed, and backing into those solutions. She relished a good debate. She surrounded herself with individuals that had different opinions than hers. The terms she used, she would always say, we could respectfully agree to disagree. This was her philosophy on debate. You could debate an issue without anger and feeling entering in. By debating, everything was out on the table. As uncomfortable as this was for some, it gave her differing ideas and solutions for governance. Collective thinking. She sought the opinions of her elders and community members as she formed her policies. As she interacted in the Cherokee communities, she would seek out opinions on various governance concepts that she was working on. Often, when she made her decisions or rolled out a program or policy, she would quote these individuals and give them credit for their insight and wisdom that they had shared with her. She coined phrases to express methods of governance. Chief Mankiller can be credited for gathering a group of tribal leaders for the beginning discussions on exercising sovereignty. Sovereignty was used as a term then, but no one was really exercising sovereignty until there was a lawsuit or immunity was needed. They would meet and debate over what is our sovereign inherent rights. The phrases coming out of these debates were a government-to-government relationship, depicting what the relationship should be between the U.S. government and tribal governments, self-governance, all terms that we use in our descriptions of governance between tribes and the U.S. government. However, these were not used until these debates, and also Chief Mankiller's public speeches and writings. These were taken and put into laws that now are precedent setting for the relationships that tribes now enjoy with the U.S. government. Wilma was all about relationships. This was one of the distinguishing marks of her life. She would keep the ties that bind you. She interacted with the Cherokee communities, as most of the speakers have said. She did this in her daily living and also spoke all over the world. I sometimes would accompany her to her keynote speaking engagements. She would be on the stage, and after she would eat and interacted with those around her, she would take up her paper napkin and begin to take notes. She would look out into the audience and then jot down a few words. Sometimes I could see the panic on the people around her, thinking, what is she doing? One time she told me a lady about had a heart attack, thinking she was just now writing her speech. This was a way of gathering her thoughts. She liked to gather her thoughts before she spoke. A tool she used, she told me, to soothe her, and a way to collect her impacting phrases. This was a way that she came out with her key points. In many of her presentations, she would share her story of her childhood and other turning points in her life, and this lighted the flame of many, instilling them to reach for their dreams. Some of these powerful phrases were, be of good mind. She said her elders would say, clear your mind and think good thoughts. Be of good mind. And of course, the title of her book, Every Day is a Good Day, depicts the philosophy of her being. In closing, I would like to quote a friend of hers, Don Greenfeather, and a friend of mine. He had worked with Chief Mankiller when she first went to work for the tribe. His words were simple, and yet the most telling. She knew her people. She knew the needs of her people. Wado.
Thank you so much, Pam. going to take a little bit of personal time here too. One of the lessons that I've learned from Wilma was the meaning of sister friend. She had this sisterhood from celebrities to people locally. And I tell you, and it's not about the celebrity or people locally as much as it is about the relationship itself. You know, when I was in college and I was Wilma's intern, you know, that's when she was starting to get sick. And when I moved to DC, by that time, she'd always have this small group of women friends, sister friends. You know, there were days when you just knew she didn't feel well. You could see it in her eyes. You know, but she'd come to work. And these sister friends would step up, and without asking them, they knew how to care for her. And I value that because one of the lessons, and I think one of the meanings behind her legacy, is how she valued those relationships, how she built those relationships, how to this day, the women in her life who were strongly tied to her every day are the kind of women that we want to be and have in our own lives. And so I learned to be a sister friend. I learned about her humor, you know, teasing Gloria because she couldn't cook, you know, and using her oven as a bookcase, Wilma would say. You know, Wilma coming to New York when she got one of her honorary degrees, I think from Smith, and inviting me to New York to be there, knowing those were times when she wasn't feeling well. But yet she still took the time to mentor. And so, you know, the inspiration is all these things we've heard about today: mom, grandma, chief, colleague, employer, and friend. She all had that impact in our lives. But I think, too, that we all know Wilma, right? We all know she wouldn't want this event on this day or this Barbie just to be about her. It's got to be about something bigger. And I remember when the book came out about her life, in the several months leading up to that, because she'd had plenty of offers and opportunity to write her story. It couldn't be about just her. It had to be something else. And so you see in her book this interwoven story of her life, but also the history of the Cherokee people. It was a way to teach and educate about who we are. So in the spirit of what Wilma believed in, which is doing things bigger than yourself, we have a Cherokee vote table out there. Voting was very important to her. You know, making sure that we're registered in our tribal, state, federal elections, making sure that we have our families and friends registered too, making sure that we exercise our right to vote. That's how we have a voice in this country, when sometimes Native Americans struggle to have a voice at all. So please, you know, we have people out there, do your part and register yourself to vote. Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing day of celebration for a woman who fought to raise the voices of Native Americans in this country. Her leadership and advocacy have left an indelible mark across our nation. During the decades she led the Cherokee Nation, Chief Mankiller fought relentlessly on behalf of the Cherokee people for better health care, education, housing, self-governance. Though it has been 13 years since she passed, she continues to inspire positive change and empowerment for Native women, and especially Cherokee women. It was my honor to be your MC for this celebration of Chief Wilma Mankiller's incredible life and the exciting celebration of the Mankiller Barbie doll, a tribute to Chief Mankiller's strength, resilience, and leadership. The Mankiller Barbie doll embodies the values that Chief Mankiller held so dear, that every individual has the power to make a positive impact in their community. Before we say goodbye, I do want you to please take a look around. You'll see the pictures. Take photos of yourself in some of these displays and such, and enjoy the rest of your day. Safe travels home. Wadon.